This alien egg gets cut open. The woman then blows on it and wakes up the little monster inside. He then travels across the egg, making a gem appear in the middle. After taking it, she puts it in a bucket and brings it to a lake. There, she puts a drop of sussy liquid onto it, causing it to rapidly expand. Her teammate sends her the signal, so she breaks some alien herbs and puts a bunch of seeds inside it. She then ties it up and throws it in the lake. After it sinks down to the bottom, all of the flying fish start to jump out of the water. Suddenly, a giant flying whale leaps out and lands on the ground. The woman rushes over to it. Meanwhile, her teammate opens his bag and uses the flying alien as a Fortnite glider to go over to her. The woman then harvests some blue stuff from the whale and puts it in a bag. Later, she feeds it to another alien and lets him run off. It then summons a giant flying monster in the sky that later drops a blue orb for them. This is what they have been waiting for the whole time. They then put their heads inside it and suddenly get teleported to Earth. So comment if you like pickles, because this cat spills his ice cream on a $900,000 painting, and when he tries to wipe it off, it does absolutely nothing. So he runs into his room and begins painting in hopes of making it look similar. He then replaces the old painting with his version and walks away. The next day, his co-worker stumbles upon the painting when suddenly he begins coughing because of his drink and also ruins it. He tries wiping it off, but that makes it even worse. So he also runs into his room and begins making a painting that looks almost nothing like the original. He then replaces it just before the owner comes back. But not even 5 minutes later, their boss who owns the painting returns. He starts suspiciously looking at them, but even though they are panicking, he simply thinks the painting looks bussin' and starts taking pictures with it. But just after they leave, he accidentally slips on the ice cream peel and destroys his own painting. He panics thinking they will laugh at him and runs into his own room to paint a new one. He then replaces it for the third time and no one ever notices any difference. So comment your favorite color and subscribe, because this kid buys an ice cream, but he immediately returns it to save some money. Every day he sells newspapers for 10 cents each, and when he gets paid, he drops it in his savings jar. The next day, he really wants to buy a balloon, but when he remembers he needs to save money, he gets upset and returns it yet again. And as time goes on, the jar soon becomes completely full with a whole 10 bucks. The boy has been waiting for this for 3 years and happily runs over with his jar. He stands outside the toy store and shakes the jar, after which he places it on the table and asks for a special item on the shelf. The cashier gets mad that he's paying with pennies but sells it to him anyway. When he gets home, his sister takes his arm and gives him a sussy bracelet, but since it was her birthday, she starts asking the boy for a gift. He tells her he doesn't have one, when suddenly he remembers that he has been saving up for this for 3 years. His sister then remembers how she always wanted a doll from the toy store. Her brother then finally whips out the doll he has been saving up for, and she cries with tears of joy. So comment if you love your family and subscribe.